Scrub-a-dub-dub, what's in the tub? What's going on, my scrub subscribers? Ace here, and we are here with the match between Vsing and I. Like I said before in previous matches, we are going to be doing these post, and I'm particularly happy that I did this one post because there are plays in this match that I had no reason to make other than just gut feeling overall. Just making the ballsy play basically is what I did, and that's something that I can't really validate to you guys. I say this every time in every video, and I'm sorry if it's like a broken record or something like that. But let's get into the analysis of the teams. Looking at my team, I brought the team that you guys saw in the team builder, and nothing changed from that. I didn't decide any last minute changes. I was thinking about bringing a Uxie, but I didn't, and everything on that team is exactly the same. If you guys don't know what my team is, you can go back to the team builder and watch that. Or you can just try and pick and choose the moves that I have on my team like that, if that's really how you want to do it. But, I mean, I'd recommend the team builder, because that's just easier. But looking at Vsing's team, he's bringing the Rotom Mow, the Scrafty, the Florges, Skarmory, Crobat, and Lantern. Now, looking at his team, I thought, okay, he's probably either going to lead off with the Rotom Mow, the Skarmory, the Crobat, or the Lantern, and three of those options were something that Arcanine kind of checked, and that's part of the reason why I led off with my Arcanine. I really wanted to lead off with Diggersby, predicting the Lantern, but I didn't think it was worth the effort there, because if I lead off with that and he leads off with, say, Rotom Mow, I can't EQ it. I have Fire Punch, but then that ruins the element of surprise I have for the Skarmory, and I just didn't think that was the best option there. So like I said, I'm leading off the Arcanine, and we can kind of just get into the match, and I'll just show you guys what happens. Alright, so Vsing does end up leading off with the Lantern, named Pescado, which means fish in Spanish. And like right off the bat, I knew this was a bad matchup, and I knew my wall cores were going to take a hit from here. I just Will-O-Wisp just to get off residual damage on this thing, because I don't have the Flare Blitz. I have Overheat on this Arcanine, and I can't really touch this thing. And he Scalds. I thought he might Volt Switch and I'd be okay, but he Scalds, and that does a lot of damage. I knew it could take one, that's why I stayed in. And here, I'm a little worried that he's going to go for a Thunderbolt, but I'm like, I can't risk another Scald, and Thunderbolt probably takes out my Arcanine anyway. So he goes for the Thunderbolt, and that hurts a lot, and I'm like, man, Vsing is really ahead here, and I'm like, he could go for a Thunderbolt here and just take out my special core, but then I was like, no, he's probably thinking that I'm going to go out into Diggersby, and he's just going to try and keep on that prediction train. He's kind of feeling himself, and he actually does choke a bit here. He goes for the Icy Wind, thinking that Diggersby is coming out, and he obviously wanted to slow that down. So here I just made the safe play of recovering, because I figured he'd probably overpredict there, and it paid off for me, and there's no reason I could really validate in my mind why I made that play, other than just being the kind of player I am, just a little ballsy, and post-match Vsing kind of resented me for making that play, but he just Thunderbolts here again, and like I said, I know I can take one, so I'm just going to try and get this Lantern down, because once I get past this thing, his team really opens up for me, so like, I just need this thing to be whittled down by that Will-O-Wisp and Ice Beam and thing like that. I didn't go for the Scald because I figured he's probably Water Absorb, because I didn't have this Abstrika, and I didn't want to risk giving back more health. So I switch out here into my Meowstic, because I figure I can take a hit, and then I can set up the Reflect, and I have the Light Clay on my Meowstic, because I wanted the screen to last longer. Actually, that's one thing I did change. This doesn't have leftovers. It has the Light Clay. I meant to say you guys in the beginning, but now you guys know. And he ends up Volt Switching here. I think he could have possibly taken me out with a Scald. I'm not 100% sure. Oh, actually, probably not. But I set up the Reflect here, because I figured things like this and the Crobat could come in and try and mess me up. So I figure the Reflect is good. I'm going to swap out here because I don't want to get knocked off, and I go into Ace just to intimidate off this Scrafty, and then possibly if he only has a physical attack that can really hit me, I can Morning Sun up. So he goes for the Protect here, and it fails because I swapped out. He was probably scouting for Dazzling Gleam. He protects here, and I knew that was coming here, so I just Morning Sun up like I said. That was the best play for me to make, just to get my wall cores back. And Vsinghb's kind of slowly losing momentum here, just probably from that play. Like, he was frazzled that I stayed in and that I predicted his prediction. And I go for the Will-O-Wisp here just because I want to get something off on that Scrafty, just because I know it's such a such a threat to my team, and I figure he probably has bulk up or something like that. And the Pescado comes in and I crunch it and kill it, even though he predicts the Will-O-Wisp, because he's just at such low HP. Now here, I Will-O-Wisp to break the Sturdy because I want Vsinghb to think I only have Flare Blitz. And like, he stays in and he Toxics, and I'm not a real big fan of that, but I do have the Heal Bell on my floating, flying thing, Togetic. I always forget the name of that thing because I think of Togekiss, and I know that's not the right name. But I wanted him to stay in here, thinking that I only have the Flare Blitz, but he's smart and hip to it. So I go for the Overheat here, and it's not going to do too much to this Scrafty because Scrafty has a lot of special bulk. And that does a decent amount because it's stab, but like, in terms of like that much power, it does not do what it's needing to do. So here, I know he's probably going to go for the knockoff, but I have to bring in my Togetic here and just get off an Aromatherapy. I know he probably can't touch me, because even if he knocks off my item, a Poison Jab and an Iron Head aren't going to kill me from this. And he just protects here to scout, probably for Dazzling Gleam. And I just go for the Heal Bell here, just to get off that Toxic on my my Arcanine. And this Scrafty is intimidated, I believe. Yeah, it is. It is intimidated after that turn. He goes into floor here, probably the Scout again for that. I just go for the Toxic because I know he's probably going to swap, and I don't want to reveal my Fire Blast on that. And so we get the Toxic off on this Florges, and here I'm not really feeling the matchup because there isn't really anything I can do to this this thing, and I want to scare it out or just be able to get up my Morning Sun just for more and more health, because I know this ace checks a lot of his team with the Overheat and then the Crunch. He goes for the Aromatherapy just to get the Toxic off. And now here, I see that, and I'm thinking I go for the Will-O-Wisp. I'm thinking of going for the Will-O-Wisp, excuse me. And I actually do, because I want him to waste turns using Aromatherapy and just to whittle down what he has. Now he goes for the Wish here. And I was a little interested at why he did this. Maybe he's checking if I have Flare Blitz. Maybe he's specifically EV'd for him to live that. But I see that he swaps out and he goes straight into the Arcanine, or not into the Arcanine, he goes into his Scrafty, which has the Intimidate to bring down any physical move that I could use against the Florges. I just go for the Morning Sun here because I figured he would probably protect there, just to kind of scout. And he gets the health back up on his Scrafty with that Wish, which is a smart play. I just go for the Will-O-Wisp here, just because I don't want this thing bulking up in my face and not having to take damage for it. But he reveals he's Lumberry, and I thought he might bulk up here, but he just goes for the Iron Head, which I think he's predicting the Diancie there. That's the only thing. I don't know why he would make that big of a prediction there, just because I don't think there's any reason for me to swap out. So I just go for another Will-O-Wisp, just because I need to whittle this thing down. He goes for the knockoff to knock off my Rocky Helmet. Smart play there, because he doesn't want everything taking residual damage, and that opens up things for Crobat. And now here, I figure he's probably going to go into the floor just to get off this burn. So I swap out here. And I go into my Meow Sheep. Because I want to get my Reflect back up. And he swaps into the floor just like I thought. He wants to get these burns off and everything like that. And I want to get my Reflect up. Because I figured that's what's going to help my team the most. And I don't think this thing has anything that can really hurt me. So I just set up the Reflect. He could have Toxic, but I don't think that that's the set he's running, because he has the Aromatherapy and the Wish. That he'd probably have to have an attacking move, and Toxic isn't really something that Vsinghb would want to limit himself to only having that because it's what protects Moonblast, Wish, and Aromatherapy. So here I swap into my Diancie, predicting that he's going to go for the Aromatherapy, and I can just get off a free Mega Evolution. So he goes for the Aromatherapy, my Diancie comes in for free here, and I'm in a really good position. Here I figure he's probably going to swap out, because this Diancie does not, or this Florges does not want to take a Diamond Storm. So I go for the Stealth Rocks here, because I want to be proactive in getting that Crobat whittled down, because that thing really hurts my team, as well as the Rotom Mow. And I already have the Lantern down, so those are the next priorities on the list, is getting the Crobat and the Lantern down. He wishes here, staying in, and I was a little surprised that he did, because I could just Diamond Storm. And I do Diamond Storm right off the bat here on that Wish, and like I bring this thing almost all the way down, and he Moonblast on that Diamond Storm. And I was a little surprised how much this did. I thought he was especially invested in all of that, but he's not. And he gets his Wish back, and he's just sitting in a good position here. I figure going for Diamond Storm is probably my best play, because bringing this Florges down to a low enough HP where I can knock it out is a good thing, because Diancie can't really touch the Crobat or the Skarmory. So I figure letting it down, go down here is probably my best option. Vsinghb probably knows that I have the HP Fire for the Skarmory, so I don't see him leaving it in against it unless it's last mon situation. So I figure here I can just go out into my Dirty Sheep here and scare this thing out and get off a return on anything that really wants to come in. He scouts with Protect just to see what I'm going to do, and I go for the return just because I want him to swap into the Skarmory here, and I want him really to do that. He's getting Leftovers Recovery, which is smart. So I go for the Fire Punch here, predicting the Skarmory to come in. And like Vsinghb is, he does swap into that because it walls a return. Fire Punch here, thanks to Mega Shinka. This does so much damage. Look at that. Diggersby, calm down. Life Orb, Adamant. I know Vsinghb didn't. I talked to Vsinghb after, and he said he did not think it would do that much. But Diggersby does at least 50% to a Skarmory with Fire Punch, Adamant, Life Orb. And that is absolutely amazing. And I think that's this is something that really put me in the advantage here. And this thing comes in. And I just go for another Fire Punch because I figure why not just go for it on the Skarmory in case he tries to stay in. No reason to go for a turn and mistaking it out and him roosting and me whittling myself down. I just go for the return here because I know I outspeed unless he's Choice Scarfed, and seeing that he went for Fake Out and Protect, he's not Choice Scarfed. So we take down the Scrafty there, and we're in a really good position here. He goes into the Crobat, and I was like, okay, this is not a good matchup for me. Let's swap back out. Bring in Ace, get the Intimidate off, and just start whittling down this team. Now he goes here for the Brave Bird, and you're gonna see how much damage this does. This is a lot of damage. Even though even though this thing is intimidated, look how much that does. That's like 30% after the Intimidate. It's just so much damage. And I figure he's probably not gonna go for another one here. He's probably predicting the Will-O-Wisp. So he just goes straight into the Rotom Mow here. I Morning Sun up because I figured he probably doesn't want to take more residual damage from the Brave Bird and everything like that. So he goes into Rotom Mow here, and he goes for the trick to Choice Scarf me into my Overheat, which is a pretty smart play. But I just had to get rid of this thing. This thing was too much of a threat to my Jellicent, and I needed my Jellicent to kind of bring down that the Florges so that I would be in a good position for my Diggersby to take it out and basically sweep the end of his team. So I take that thing out with a Overheat, and now from this percentage right here, after rocks, I can take out the Florges with an Overheat. Now he protects to get Leftovers Recovery, which is extremely smart. I just go for the Overheat because I'm Choice Scarfed into it. And here I figure I can probably take him out if I get enough of a roll or put him in a position where he has to do something. And he just... that play hurt my heart. I missed an overheat, and he goes for a wish, and I'm like, this is now going to be a very, very long series of events that I'm going to have to work around because I missed that overheat. So I go into Bird Sheep here just to come in on any potential possible status ailments if he does have them, but I don't think he does because he's revealed his whole moveset at this point. So that's what I was thinking at the time, but he didn't have any, and I just go for the Toxic here just to try and whittle this thing down. And here I think I'm just going to skip a couple turns, so I'll be right back once you guys... Oh no, hold on. Oh, I'll wait and show you guys something. Because, like, at this point, I was pretty sure that I had won the match because, with the 5 Pokemon that I have to the 3 that he has, he can't really touch, my Arcanine with the combination of the Florges, Skarmory, and, Crobat. None of them really touch me that well. I can't touch the Florges that well. But once this thing's gone, it's basically GG. So what I do here is I just bring out Jellicent and I swap in between to whittle this thing down to where Diggersby can take it out. Now what I want is to put it in a situation where I can let Blue Sheep go down so that it's at a low enough percentage where Diggersby can come in for free and not have to take a Moonblast. And it's basically just Moonblast, Scalds, Wish, Recover, all of that shenanigans. And I know you guys don't want to watch that, so what I'm going to do right here is just pause this, and you guys will come back in right after everything is at that point. Okay? See you in a sec. Okay, guys, we're back here, and this is basically the point where everything goes here. So I'm at 40 HP, and Vsinghb can take me out here with the Moonblast, but now he's at a percentage where he doesn't have a Wish Up, and if he tries to Wish Up here and not take me out here, I'm going to recover. But basically this is where all of the stall ends, basically. So he Moonblasts here, he doesn't have a Wish Up, he doesn't have Aromatherapy up, he is burned. He's getting Leftovers Recovery, but at this point, Diggersby can just take out the Florges here, because the burn will take him down to a percentage. About 60% here, Diggersby can just straight come in, and there's no reason for me to not go for the return here because I don't want to risk anything with Fire Punch. Because that Skarmory's already so low down, I can just go for a Fire Punch next turn. So I just go for the return, take out the Florges here, and basically there's 2 Pokemon left that I just have to take down. He brings in the Skarmory here, and I don't particularly want to just let this thing go down because I think it's just better to go into this thing just to kind of scout what he'll do, and he goes for the Brave Bird just to get damage off on my Diggersby so that he can take it out with his Crobat. I guess he's just trying to go for a lower score here. I just swap into this thing because I think like if at all, like I just don't want to choke it away. He goes for the Iron Head here. Smart just takes me out. I kind of wanted to go for Fire Blast there, hoping he'd just try and roost or something like that, get back up to sturdy, but no, he's smart enough to know better and just go straight for the Iron Head. Now here I just swap into Ace because there's no reason to not. Here I can just go in and take this thing out, or if he wants to swap into the Crobat, that's perfectly fine by me, but I just go for the Overheat here just to take this thing out because there's no reason really not to. But the Skarmory finally goes down, and that was probably the biggest thing that like just made me so happy. I was like, finally, this thing I've been stressing about all week has gone down, and I'm happy. And this thing's at a low enough percentage that pretty much anything I could do can take this thing out. But he ends up going for the Roost, predicting me to Will-O-Wisp here, I think. Or do I just go for... No, I'm Scarf, that's right. So I just go for the Overheat because I was just trying to take him out. It doesn't do much because I'm at -2 from the Skarmory. So now I just see that he's trying to prevent or get a lower score. So I'm like, okay, that's fine if you really want to do that. I'll just take you out with Diggersby. because I figure he'd probably roost here on my overheat or my swap. So I can just get up the reflect, and Diggersby won't die to a Brave Bird, and we're in a fine position there. Because I'll just let him take me out here. Because I'm not gonna let him stall me out. I'm just gonna force him to have to take me out here, and he actually doesn't end up taking me out because the reflect is so strong. Um, and but I'm physically defensive bulky. He just goes for another U-turn and takes me out the rest of the way. But he has to take more and more. Um, I think he's Life Orb, right? Yeah, he's Life Orb. So he has to take more and more damage to do that. And now I can just go into my Diggersby, and I know a Brave Bird won't kill me here. He doesn't have any rocks up or anything like that, so I'm just in a fine position here. And he goes for the Brave Bird, just hoping for a crit or something like that. And even through the reflect and everything like that, I live at 25 HP, which I knew was fine. I could have gone into Arcanine there, but I didn't think it was a really good idea. And I just go for the Ice Punch just to clinch out the win there. Um, GG's to Vsing. I think that after that play, he had a lot of things that he regretted, like that Icy Wind play, letting me recover up and just whittle down his Lantern. And but it was a really hard fought match. Like he tried to stay in it as long as he could. It just things started falling down. As soon as the Pescado went down, I knew that I was in a real good position to win it, as long as I didn't choke anything away and I played a tactical match. I would be in a fine position. Because I was so far ahead, he can't sell me out with Florges or anything like that, and he can't swap core on me because I have moves to cover. Everything else, minus the Florges, really. I wish I would have brought something a little more um, direct for the Florges, but well, I guess I don't know. He made a really good play on that turn where he Moonblast instead of swapping out on my Diamond Storm, and I was surprised by that. Um, yeah, because I could have just clean take him out. If I had gone for Diamond Storms instead of Stealth Rocks, that thing would have been gone, and then I could have got my Stealth Rocks up the next turn and let something else take me down. So I could have been in a better position there. But I really thought he was going to swap out because it just made more sense to go into Skarmory there. Uh, I get maybe not because I had the HP Fire. I don't know. Maybe actually probably Rotom Mow is actually probably his best play. Thinking about it now, to go in there. But I mean, he's Choice Scarf, so he can only hit me once, and if I live, he'd be in a bad position, and he'd basically just dwindle away Rotom Mow and not be able to Choice Scarf my Arcanine. Um, but at the end of the day, I think it was a real good match. Thing's always been someone I admire in battling, and he's someone that I'm a rival with. Like we're on the same level of battling, and I think this puts me at 5-4. So yeah, leading the race. But yeah, no, I'm real happy about that. If you guys like this, make sure to hit that like button down below and subscribe, and make sure to go over to Vsinghb's channel and comment on his videos and say good job. Like even though you lost, it was a good match, and like he's 0-3 right now. He did have to forfeit week 2, which I think in that match he probably would have won, barring like certain situations and things like that. But I definitely see Vsync still being able to make it to the playoffs. So I definitely think he's a team that you should root for as well. Um, but yeah, no, that's gonna be it. Like I said, like, subscribe, both channels, comments. Yeah, all right. Thank you guys so much for watching, and you have a nice day. Bye bye.